So good to see you. We're just going to get started. I've got a bit of music, which is, well, soothing. And chose this music because what we're going to do now is going to be a bit reflective. And I'll tell you why. Okay? So, the process of writing your book, some of you would be quite savvy in doing that. And some of you is a totally new experience. Okay? Totally new experience. But regardless what it is, most important thing is the process of journaling to achieve clarity, to go into that reflection, and to bring out the important things. Okay? It's really about you. That's what journaling is about. It's really about you and going inward. And after the journaling, I will do a core purpose with you. Why is all this needed for writing a book? Because it's the beginning, it is setting the foundation, it is planting the seed. We're sowing the seed. Okay? So it needs to be a good seed, it needs to be sowed, and takes a little bit of work. Right. So that's why we've got a few days, which I want you to do it in a slow and steady pace. And this journaling, I will mention a few points which you can take back with you, and then you can just go into that mode, half an hour, and start reflecting. All right. So first, I want to do this with you. Is going into your love story. Right? We'll go into that a little bit today. And then it will be the hero story. And last will be the moral choice story. All right? So when we complete this process of journaling, you will have some idea about how you can bring out the things that affected, that has determined your love story. Okay? And next is the hero story, what determines what you look as a hero, that is as a mentor to you, and then your moral choice. All these things will really determine what you would write about, to what depth, and how you will write it. Okay, so yes, it's not something that's conventional. All right, it's not something conventional, but I would encourage you to go through the process with me. And when you write it out, it gives you some insights. Now, let me tell you something about myself. I wrote the book Through the Golden Door, okay? And it's about advancement, it's about uh, the human going into an upgrade, and really understanding about where we are heading for humanity. The book is creative nonfiction. It's very much like a story. It has the characters. It has um, the need to discover. The need to look at all the various theories, and the need to find the keys. A bit of intrigue. All right. So it has a bit of that. So when I went through the process of the love story, that's in the beginning, before the book, I would say, started coming into form. I really looked at within myself and what I um, experienced from my youth. And I would see what experiences I had that I felt loved or not loved. And was really going back. And I started journaling that. Okay. And began to understand. I began to understand my identity, how it affected my identity. And then how it affected my relationships, my environment, my circumstances, and then my purpose. So I started looking at all that, coming to this point. I looked at my relationships, all related to love story, and how I was loved and not loved when I was a child. And all that coming together, leading to how it affected my personal direction in life. So I was discovering love. I was discovering love. My personal relationships, I felt had a brokenness. So I was discovering love. And that was so important to me that it emerged in my book. What was funny is that when I planned to write my book, it was going to be purely scientific. The title was going to be Transit to Type 1, and it was going to cover on astrophysics and all that. Anyway, because um, when I went to journaling, I found out that love was really the main driving force for me. And it was what I was searching for. So, yes, for some of you it may not be, but then when I did my love story um, journaling, so much of that came out. So much of the desire of being loved. And in the book, it was all about that, the oneness with God, discovering divine love. So, in a way, it became aligned with my purpose, which I didn't know what it was. Now, so, yes, do a little bit of journaling and we'll tell me your love story. Okay. And the second part is my hero story. What was your hero or role model when you were younger? Reflect on that. Write it out in your journal. Okay. And how did it affect your identity? How did your role model affect your relationships with others, your environment, your circumstances? And how did your role model affect your purpose, your personal direction in life? So, what was funny for me is that when I did the journal exercise on my hero story, I've always, since as a child, I wanted to experience magic. I saw life as magical. And I related best with magicians, with superheroes. It's true. My idols were the superheroes and the magicians, actually. And it was funny because I found that it meant so much to me and how I saw life. It came out in my book. Magical and mystical. That is me. And hero My hero was the Matrix, Neo, the the limitless ability. And that was what I was in my book, finding that limitless self in me and becoming that, the Renaissance woman who could achieve anything. From my background in mathematics, a computer scientist for so many years, to now a writer, a storyteller. So a totally different field that I could do anything from the technology to the literary. Yes, both right brain and left brain. So that came out in my book, and that made people relate with it so well because it was so deep within me. It was my hero story. So that's why I say this journaling is so powerful, because when you bring it out in your book, whatever book it is, it's going to create such a deep connection with your readers. It'll go beyond just um, logical writing. It'll be something so powerful that it will sort of resonate in eternity, because that's the spirit you carry. Whatever topic it is, whether it's even architecture, engineering, whether it's your autobiography, um, it is about technology, medical, personal development, anything. That something which is deeply personal comes out. Stories tell. So even if you're writing, I mean, my books are all nonfiction, but it's creative nonfiction. So even if you're writing a nonfiction, you bring out a story, and that resonates with readers, with the facts. The third one I want you to journal is the moral choice story. Moral choice story. Okay. So when have your decisions brought impact and goodness into the world? Okay. How did the decisions you made in the story affect your identity, who I am? How it affected your relationships with others, your environment, your circumstances? How did the decisions made in the story, in the moral choice story, affect your purpose, your personal direction in life? So, journal on that. My moral choice story from eons, so from the time I was a child, was justice. I remember my school, I think I was 12 years old, my teacher asked me, "What do you want to become?" And I said, "I want to be a judge." And then she said, "What's the other thing you want to become?" And I said, "I want to be an explorer. I want to explore. I want to find out." Yes. So my moral choice was justice, and in some way, exploration and finding out truth. That's what it is. And this is what I'm doing. I'm a truth seeker. And my book, Through the Golden Door, was really about the golden door of truth, of humanity, of the planet, that is deeply ingrained in me. That was my moral choice. So I want you to journal on your moral choice story, right from your youngest, earliest time, and reflect that into your relationships, your environment, your choices, the decisions you make. Write it out.